Iranian clergyman Hamad Vasfi is part of a campaign that has teamed up with the fundamentalist Ansar al-Hezbollah group to maintain the ban on women attending soccer games. He says, quote, "The presence of women in stadiums is against the laws of Sharia, and all religious authorities have issued edicts on this." He adds that their presence, quote, "promotes prostitution and leads to moral corruption. We have examples. Pictures published from women in stadiums clearly show this." My first thoughts is that this dude is clearly delusional, but I don't think he necessarily believes what he's saying. We see this type of rhetoric spewed all throughout the MENA region. If you go to Saudi Arabia, a bunch of women were protesting the driving ban, and they were uploading videos of themselves doing it to YouTube. And one of the Saudi clerics actually said that if women drive, it's going to destroy their ovaries because I guess the car pushes their bodies forward, and so it'll make them so they can't have kids. So that's why we shouldn't allow them to drive. Nobody believes him, and I think it's probably the case that most Iranians don't believe what he's saying, because if you look at the Iranian youth, they're actually quite progressive comparatively throughout the region. So one thing that's great, though, about this story is that 500 women will be allowed to attend, according to VP of Women's Affairs. So this has been an ongoing issue in Iran since probably the revolution, and Iran has a very distinct history of repression. And if you look at some of the women's rights movements, or one particular issue that they're rallying against, it's bad hijab. So women in Iran right now, if their hijab is pushed too far back and you can see too much of their forehead, well, they can actually go to jail because that's considered haram. And this is something that's just really ridiculous because, I mean, you may do that inadvertently. And further on, it's stupid. It's just a stupid law. So these types of laws, they can't stand, and I'm really glad that there is actually a strong women's rights movement in Iran fighting back against this preposterous type of, not only laws, but the rhetoric as well, because they've been very effective at getting out their campaign message. A lot of women will start hashtag campaigns on Twitter or upload videos of themselves to YouTube telling their stories. So I'm really glad that the Iranians, mostly Iranian youth, are fighting back against this. We're not living in the dark ages. This is clearly a draconian law, and it's something that just needs to be abolished. But I'm glad that women are being allowed to attend the soccer game. It shouldn't even be an issue.